In this section, we'll briefly discuss the particularity requirement for warrants. The warrant must describe with sufficient particularity the person or place to be searched and the items to be seized. The purpose of that requirement is to prevent exploratory searches, to assure the individual's property is searched or seized of the lawful authority of the executing officer, the officer's need to search, and the limits of the officer's power to search, and to reduce the perception of unlawful or intrusive police conduct. In Grove v. Ramirez, in the space set aside for a description of the items to be seized, the warrant stated that the items consisted of a single dwelling residence, blue in color. The Fourth Amendment does not prohibit a warrant from cross-referencing other documents. Most courts of appeals have held that a court may construe a warrant with reference to a supporting application or affidavit if the warrant uses appropriate words of incorporation and if the supporting document accompanies the warrant. The problem in Grove v. Ramirez was that the warrant did not incorporate other documents by reference, and neither did the affidavit or application that accompanied the warrant. The warrant did not simply omit a few items from a list of many items to be seized or misdescribe a few of the items that were to be seized, nor did it make what fairly could be characterized as a mere technical mistake or typographical error. The warrant there was so obviously deficient that it must be regarded as warrantless within the meaning of the Supreme Court case. The place to be searched should be described as accurately and specifically as possible. Case law requires that the premises be defined with practical accuracy. The description must be sufficiently definite so as to clearly distinguish the premises from all others. For homes, you do not have to have a legal description of the home location. A street address is sufficient. However, you should also include a specific description of the premises and all areas included in the search. For example, residence located at 101 North Clark Street, Douglas, Wyoming, including garage and tool house. Residence is blue with white trim. Specific descriptions will avoid errors and ensure that the particularity requirement is satisfied. Even if you include the wrong address, a specific description of the premises and how to get there so as to distinguish it from all others will probably satisfy the particularity requirement. For apartments and multi-dwellings, you must describe the apartment or multi-dwelling home with such detail as to preclude all other units. And you may need a diagram if the units are not numbered. For vehicles, include make, model, color, license plate number, and any other known identifying characteristics. For persons, the most common procedure is search of an individual incident to arrest, but some situations may require a search warrant. In that case, describe the person or persons by name, age, height, weight, race, clothing, address, aliases, etc. When items will be seized pursuant to a warrant, the warrant must describe the property to be seized with such particularity so as to clearly identify it and thereby prevent the seizure of other property. Include number, size, color, weight, condition, brand name, and all other distinguishing features. The police officer should, in essence, be left with no discretion as to which property is to be taken. If the warrant fails to adequately describe the property to be seized, any evidence seized under the warrant will be inadmissible. When items can be described in detail, they should be. Stolen goods, obscene materials, or other articles of merchandise too numerous to mention are inadequate descriptions. A less descriptive warrant is generally okay for gambling devices, weapons, and narcotics than for stolen goods. But a warrant to seize documents, books, and personal property requires more detail than a warrant to seize weapons or contraband. If occupants should be searched and names are unknown, add "and all occupants." If make and license plate numbers are unknown, add "and all vehicles." Under the U.S. Constitution, the warrant must be supported by oath or affirmation. It may be necessary to remind the magistrate about the oath requirement. If the oath or affirmation requirement is not met, then the warrant is issued unlawfully, the search conducted under the warrant is unlawful, and the evidence was seized unlawfully, and the evidence will not be admitted in court. There is a presumption that the warrant was supported by oath or affirmation. However, that presumption is rebuttable. The final slide in this section lists some golden rules regarding search and seizure. Evidence obtained under a warrant is more likely to be admitted into court than evidence obtained by a search incident to arrest or any other warrant exception. If in doubt, get a warrant. If in further doubt, talk to your prosecuting attorney and make the affidavit accurate and detailed.